So today we've changed it up a little bit and met here at Schlesinger Library.
We discussed a packet of poetry of prolific female authors who were based in Cambridge and in Harvard, and we were able to see a lot of original documents from Adrienne Rich's life at the library.
One of the ways we understand the work of any great writer, if we are so lucky as to have access to that writer's papers, is to watch the writer develop through the kinds of materials that are not available to the public.
So we got to kind of go through the timeline of her life, looking at the things that she left behind and left to Harvard. I got to see things that she drew as like a 6-year-old.
She had one very impressive poem on cavemen where she had a very opinionated view on how modern men are lesser than cavemen from that time, which I found hilarious.
And then kind of move as she became this college student at Radcliffe, as she started to delve into like feminist writing.
For instance, to have the correspondence in one's hands that Adrienne Rich exchanged with all the major poets of her moment is to understand something you can't get from just reading an individual poem.
This side of poetry that you don't always see, getting to see how these people were real, they interacted.
It's to understand the conditions of publication that bore on the poet, the sense of poetic community.
So in a normal seminar room, I think it's more like we read the poems, we say, oh, this poem has a definite structure. This lends to emphasize this point. But you can't really see how a person changes just by reading their work. You can really gain more if you look at their personal artifacts and get to see like their journals from when they were a kid. And
it made me feel a lot closer to the works that we were talking about. It feels like you're kind of right in the epicenter of where it was created and where it came from. You kind of came back to the home of Adrienne Rich.
It was just amazing from an academic standpoint to be able to see like the person that we're reading about and see their physical evidence of their life here.
There's always going to be something new here for me to find and for me to learn about.
The resources here are absolutely amazing. Being able to just simply ask to have a look at some of Adrienne Rich's or various other famous poets and authors' works whenever you want is a resource that I don't think many people are afforded.
I brought them to the Schlesinger because I wanted to expose them to an archive where one can touch materials, some of which have never really been interpreted before. And so the exciting originary work of a scholar is something that one can begin to give students a sense of by bringing them to an archive.